ask you what I usually ask, because obviously I've saw you before. So the reason I came back, mate, is because I thought the three of you was pretty interesting on your own, and I feel like I couldn't get an opinion of just, you know, your own thoughts while you was together as the group. So thanks for inviting me back.
Oh, you're welcome.
Nice one. So yeah, I found out after you was a barber also. Is that your day job, so to say?
Yeah, I'm a self-employed barber. I've worked in a few shops. Too many politics in the shops. No arguments. Men are catty as women are. You know, everybody's in each other's business, so I felt like.
As bad as a seller?
Yeah.
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 You wouldn't have thought that, would you? Really?
You wouldn't with a bunch of men,
No.
but they're probably worse.
Oh, no.
You know, getting in each other's stuff. But I just thought it was more feasible to work at home, not paying overheads. You know, I carry on what I'm doing here. I have quite a few customers coming in and out. You know, I'll do any style, any race, kids, women. You know, I cut, trim and style.
Oh, no, so male and female?
Male and female, yeah. Been doing it 10 years now.
Okay. And where did you operate previously when you say you've been in shops Wolverhampton, Warsaw, Birmingham? Whereabouts did you operate?
The first shop I started in was Marky's Barbers.
Then here in Wolves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent guy. Everybody knows Marky.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very popular. He's probably top of the list on Google.
Yeah.
You know, so anybody that comes in and they're looking for a barber, usually they'll find Marky at the top of the list.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great experience working there, yeah.
You prefer it on your own, or?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a loner. I prefer to be in my own company, work on my own, yeah.
Okay.
Less politics, you know. I'm a bit old-fashioned when it comes to certain things. The kind of music you play, the conversations you have when women are around with their kids. I'm very particular about that.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't control that unless I'm in my own environment.
No, when you're surrounded by guys, I should imagine it's a bit heated.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Yeah, heated. We'll say heated. Stick there.
So what kind of took you out of it? Was it the politics that brought you out of the shop life and into your own atmosphere?
Partly the politics. Secondly, after COVID, the lockdown, I think we all lost a lot of customers, and paying rent became a little bit harder to keep up with. You know, so I had a shop after that. That shop was costing me £300 a week, which I could manage, but it just wasn't worth it because for passive trade I was based upstairs. So I wasn't getting any passive trade, so I had to go by word of mouth. You know,
your own customer, so to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all my old customers and word of mouth who they tell about it. So I decided give that place up. It wasn't cost effective, so I came here. I'm not paying rent. Still got my clients, and everybody's happy, including myself.
You find it very like that, yeah?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So you say that you're a little bit political yourself sometimes. What kind of plays on your mind?
I'm extremely political. The whole purpose of me differentiating myself from other people, I have my own views. I'm a big fan of history, world history. And what I found in history, I've always asked the question, why do we call ourselves black when we're actually brown? So I actually looked into that, and I realized through researching history that it came about through Darwinism. Darwin created this color culture or a color bar to separate the two different aspects. White was an invention and black was an invention. And to me, all it caused was a division. Plus the fact that everything we see as black is derogative, like the Black Death, like Black Monday, blackmail, black holes, everything derogative is associated to black. So I started to move myself personally away from that. Uh, Plus, we all think differently. I have a different way of seeing the world. I don't believe we should be always pointing out who's racist and what they're doing. They're entitled to be who they are. You know, start working together.
Mm.
You know, and that's a big problem amongst us. We don't trust each other. We don't work together. Partly because of history, we were taught to do that. But uh, I don't consider myself the smartest person in the world, and I don't consider myself dull. I'm intelligent, and everybody's intelligent to come to a similar conclusion that it's not helping us to progress.
No,
You know,
definitely.
speaking about who's who's racist against you, when all that energy you're putting into that, you could be putting into building the community and building business together.
Yeah.
Bit like the Chinese, the Pakistanis, the Indians, um, and white people. Everybody, they all stick together except for us.
There's a lot of divide within the white community as well, mate, if I'm honest with you, from my own perspective.
Yeah.
I think,
Business wise, they tend to work together where we have
yeah,
an issue working together. There are a lot of um, brown entrepreneurs out there. They're far and wide. Um, but do they try and bring communities together? You know, we all should be focused on the same thing. Trying to build our communities to make things better for our next generations. But it's not something we do. So this is why I call myself arc alien, because I separate myself from all of that stuff. I don't like to be called black, because if I ask my child to draw me a picture, they're going to get a brown crayon to color me in. So we're confusing the children as well,
yeah.
by carrying that on.
Do you think that's been set in place intentionally
Abs-
from that Darwinism?
Absolutely. Not only that, we're also like the Americans, the African Americans. One thing they don't realize, they're not African Americans. They're Americans. They were there before anybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
And they say African American, and yet some of these people aren't from Africa.
European Americans, they should call themselves, if that's
Yeah.
the case, because a lot of them came from England.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of confusion has been injected into societies, but it's deliberate. And once you understand the reasons why, uh, you tend to, or personally, I want to separate myself from that. So I'm having a bird's eye view of what's really going on. And this is what helps me to create the music that I create.
From that bird's eye view, how do you feel that the world is at the moment? The world stage, so to say?
I feel that the world is quite sheepish.
Mm.
Everybody follows everybody else. Uh, it's very apparent in the way we articulate ourselves now. Everybody starts their sentence with so. So I was walking down the street, everybody does the same thing.
Yeah.
There's this new word called unalive. I don't know where that comes from. Everybody's using the word unalive. And it's not that important, but it's just I notice things or changes that
I
are
think it's
happening.
algorithm based for like social media.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think it's just trickled through to the next generation, and they're using it in their day to day life.
Okay.
Yeah,
I tend not to copy anything. Just do my own
just
thing.
do your own. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So you say you feel protected in this world. How do you feel protected?
I've had a lot of experiences in my life. I grew up in Bourneville. Bourneville in the 70s and 80s was predominantly white area. We was the only brown family there. And naturally, we
You suffer racism growing up.
absolutely, yeah.
Has that affected you through your life?
Oh yeah, it affected me in this way. I was always in a shell where I was afraid of aggression. I used to be afraid of aggression. Um, you know, it was in my early teens when I turned 13 that I started to fight back. Um, by the time I was in my early 30s, I didn't like the person I turned out to be. Very aggressive, always getting into fights and unnecessarily. You know, what I realise now, it was a defence. Yeah, it was a defence mechanism. You know, that would uh, um, show itself through muscle memory. You know, yeah, yeah. So the slightest sign of threat, flight or fright. You know, obviously now that I'm older, I see things a lot differently. I realise that I have friends from all races, all backgrounds, and I realise that, and I really appreciate when I appreciate mixed couples because it makes me question. You know, I always ask that question. Geez, I can't believe that guy's not actually racist. He's, you know, it's
I just want to chuck out my daughter's first.
Yeah, I guess that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that.
You might have.
Yeah,
Yeah. The culture's affected me massively.
yeah,
Yeah. I think I got the. It's hard saying from a so-called white skin, but I got the same offence when I witnessed that racism. I wouldn't have been that white guy that joined in with the white guys. I'd have been that white guy that said,
yeah,
that ain't right, you know.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
I never agreed with, and I kind of got that black sheep thing myself, you know, pushed to the side myself.
That's another one. That's another
The
one.
black sheep.
The black sheep of the family. I always say to people, if I'm supposed to be odd and I'm in a black family, how am I odd? You better off calling me the white sheep. Because
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's.
I could actually tell. I could see that. I'm good at reading people. You
I
know.
can imagine that you pick up those things throughout your life when you've suffered those circumstances.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that, or?
Yes, you're right. You also learn a lot of positivity about it. You know, one positive thing that came from it is I am my own world. I have a choice in how I respond to people. If I'm confronted with that kind of stuff, I'm more likely to laugh now because it's the kind of words that I use are old fashioned. It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably repeat it back to them. You know, I find the humor in things, in racism especially nowadays, and I find humor in people pointing out, "Oh, he's racist." I mean, that's hilarious. He knows. You don't need to.
He knows. Right?
Yeah, he knows he's a racist. Why do you need to point it out? It's not going to change a thing. You know, get on with your own life, wasting time.
So, do you still suffer with any of that stuff? I know times have changed
Yeah,
an awful lot from the 70s and 80s, but do you feel that it's still out there?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's more systematic now.
Okay.
Like I said, it's deliberately put there to keep the divide. And I feel that the miseducation of certain people is deliberately put there to keep that divide. Um, it's very apparent in what's happening in Africa right now with Ibrahim Traore and the French, how he kicked out the French after they colonized Africa after World War II, and they remained there for all these years. I think it's fair that they should go, you know, and allow them to grow and progress in the way that they want to without uh, outside interference. It's the same for the Caribbean and Jamaica. We all have unscrupulous leaders that are subjected to um, Western views, and they have to follow certain curriculum in how they rule. Um, I feel there is an inept fear of us rising up because a lot of people feel that we'd want revenge for what happened in the past, and it would be uh, when I imagine that kind of thing. you always have the same thing. During the times of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you had a mixture of people joining hands together, holding arms and demonstrating against it. So you had black people and white people marching together. I think it would be the same thing if we rose up. Could we have unscrupulous people amongst ourselves that crave revenge? They don't understand karma. It's something you create yourself.
Not always by yourself, is it?
No, it's not. It's the people that are here today aren't responsible for slavery, but the people who lead, who perpetuate the division and the control, they are responsible not for what happened in the past, but what they do today. You see, and if we were allowed to rise, it's inevitable you're going to have a few that want to get revenge. I'd be like when you had the white people with the black people marching together. I'd be one of those people marching with white people against that, because I understand one thing: we're all one race. It's sad that we've been divided in such a way, because if you look at history and really study history, at one time we were all at one, working together. There's certain things that people don't actually know about slavery, and I could get crucified for saying this, but people have to do their research to find out who was ruling in Europe and Britain when slavery started, and they'll find it was actually brown people fighting and enslaving brown people, and later taught other people how to do the same. They'd rather embrace victimism, which doesn't get us anywhere.
I agree.
So I find myself separating myself from that, do my own thing, walk my own path. You know, uh, it's always been the way I've lived my life, as what they call a loner. We have a self-destruct button. That
Seems that way.
yeah, yeah. It's almost like we were designed to self-destruct in that way. You know.
How do you think, as a human race, we get over this divide?
First of all, get rid of religion. There's too much divide in religion. My God's stronger than yours, or your God, my God done this, or my God will do this. And really, what kind of loving God would create such a place and fearmonger you into, if you don't worship me, then you will go to hell to burn forever and ever, where there'll be gnashing of teeth and so on and so forth. And I don't see God in that way. I don't feel God in that way. I feel our Creator as a loving force, a loving energy that emulates only love. There is no judgment. There is no casting out. There is no I'm better than this. There's no jealousy. There's no anger. There's no wrath. Um, I don't see God the way a lot of other people do, and what it actually does is causes a division, even amongst the same um, the same beliefs. Like Christianity has many denominations. You have, like, say, the Seventh-day Adventists feel like they're better than the Church of God of Prophecy or other denominations, and they're divided from one another. You have Muslims, you have Islamists, and you have Muslims. Some uh, some are against each other. Right? You have people from different religions who, throughout history, for the purpose of religion or their God, have caused so much bloodshed. Who'd be attracted to all of that, knowing the history? What type of people are they? Because I'm sure God doesn't tell these people to go and kill that person or that person. They just write it and follow through. And that's why I stay away from religion also. People assume that because I don't see God in the same way they do, that I'm that I don't have a God. I feel we all have a connection to God that we cannot escape, and that God resides in each and every one of us, every plant, every animal, every insect that's being having an experience here. Uh, this is how I see life. All life has a purpose.
I agree. So you're obviously not religious per se, but I take from that you're spiritual.
What is religion? You could say that I'm religious. I religiously play my guitar. I'm not religious in terms of going to church every Sunday. That's religious. Uh, I'm not religious as to believe in what I was taught to believe as a child, the Bible.
Was you raised in that type of household?
I was, yeah. Would I call myself spiritual? I don't like to have a label. I like to say I just am. I am what I am, you know, and I have a belief in an ultimate creator or creation story, you know. Yes, I meditate. Uh, um, Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. I'm just like everybody else. I practice not judging anybody else because everybody on this whole planet has skeletons in their closet, but then they'll point their fingers at somebody else, you see? And ultimately, we are not here to judge each other. We're all here to evolve and to do better than we are or we have done.
So how do we evolve next, do you think, from your perspective?
How do we evolve? Uh, I don't have an absolute answer for that. All I can say is learn to love yourself, learn to love other people, respect other people, respect even the smallest insects, the spiders that you're scared of. Do you really have to kill them? Get a jar and a piece of paper and put them outside. Everything has a right to be here. Um, to evolve, we all have to, like Michael Jackson said, look inside yourselves, look in the mirror, you know, and see who you are and ask yourself certain questions. Um, uh, Obviously, there are certain people that are born to be evil or born to be narcissistic. Yes, I do. Those kind of people will never look at themselves. Rather, they try and control everything else around them and everybody else around them. They'll never look within themselves and tell themselves that they are actually wrong. It's about self-reflection. You can self-reflect in order to evolve in a positive way. I think that's a start for us to evolve. You know. Also, mm, take your religion more seriously. You know, if you're going to represent Christianity, represent it with your whole heart. Don't be false. Represent it with your whole heart and your whole being. You know, you can be a perfect Christian. It's not a blasphemy. You can be a perfect Muslim. It's not a blasphemy.
Do you think that these texts are misconstrued over time?
I believe that a lot of these texts are dictated to people. So from one generation to the next, they only conceive what they've been told by somebody who's also fallible, just like you. They're fallible, they can fail too. And um, what I remember from reading the Bible, one scripture, I won't say what it is because, you know, I hate quoting scriptures. One scripture I can remember is that trust no man upon this earth. Every man is fallible, but then we'll go and trust the preacher of the church because he's the preacher. We develop this charisma that we all start flocking towards his preacher and put him on a pedestal. And he's the greatest. You can't do wrong. but yet, if you analyze the biblical texts properly, you find that uh, giving tithes and offerings was originally part of yourself, not money.
Mhm.
That part or aspect of it came about with the Romans, who changed everything. They adapted Christianity to the populace, the general populace, who had all kinds of beliefs as a means of controlling everybody at the same time under one umbrella. The same as Islam. Uh, if I was to choose, I'd choose Islam because uh, the uh, the handful of Muslims that I've met, it's not their religion, it's how they portray it. You can tell that they're practicing it from their heart because they're beautiful people in the way they treat other people. But for the religions itself, I just can't come to terms with other people telling somebody else to tell somebody else that God said this when they weren't there themselves.
Yeah.
So I feel it's all a dictatorship. If you're going to follow the script, follow all the good parts. Don't follow the negative parts and go out and kill somebody or go out and judge somebody. Follow the good parts. It's a lot more rewarding.
I agree.
Mhm.
So did that have a big part in your life growing up in a religious household, moving forward?
It did. It was at first it was very confusing. Um, I remember uh, when I was very young, my dad practicing Islam. Uh, we had many Christmases. The background before uh, my dad was practicing Islam, we were in Nan's and Granddad's church. Uh, yeah, which as a child it was scary because everybody's falling over in spirit and shouting and screaming. We moved from there, went to live in a different area. By that time, my dad had given up Islam. Then one Christmas, we had a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses come in, told us that having the decorations up was evil. We were excited as children, but suddenly they were taking them all down. Certain pictures, like this image that you see there, was taken down and cut into four. And as children, you didn't understand it, but that was the end of excitement for us.
So what was
How
the
it,
explanation for
um, well, Christmas is basically pagan. Um, I don't really want to go into the politics of Christmas right now,
that?
but
Well, I mean, what was the reason for the Jehovah's Witnesses taking? Was you at
it was opposing Jehovah
okay?
having Christmas decorations and a Christmas tree. It was opposing Jehovah. Um, uh, Christmas apparently is pagan worship or a pagan ritual. Um, I don't disagree with that, but that's for another conversation. But um, that was the reason why we had our excitement, I call it, the excitement of Christmas, so abruptly removed. How it affected myself as I've got older, I don't get excited about anything. Uh, and when I look back, I can understand why. I didn't get excited when I passed my driving test. I didn't get excited when I had a birthday party thrown for me. I don't really get excited about anything.
You lead it back to those times.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Uh, like I said in a previous interview, that um, your childhood will affect your future unless you regress and deal with certain issues. And it's not a big problem. I feel happy about certain things, but I realize uh, at this stage of my life, you don't really get excited about things that you should get excited about, you know. And I feel because that excitement was abruptly taken away from myself and my brothers and sisters.
So do you feel that you've dealt with those problems as from your childhood as an adult now?
Some, not all, some, because they don't all manifest straight away. As life goes on, you have certain behavior patterns that when you analyze them, you think, where did I get that kind of behavior from? And when you think back to your childhood, you realize, oh, that's where it came from. You know, uh, I could say so much about my childhood, how it affected me because of religious views, and even affects me today because of those religious views. Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
In what ways?
In what ways? Well, I still struggle with the fact that I came to terms, in my understanding, there isn't a savior coming to save us. We're not going to be saved from anything. And even though I profoundly understand that, still find myself getting angry with that same God. I feel like it's sometimes a disappointment, that somebody isn't out there that with ultimate power that you can communicate with and ask for help. Now, I'm not saying I'm helpless or powerless. I found more power in having a strong belief and a strong, I don't like to use that word belief, a strong knowing and understanding myself. Anything that I've achieved, I picked up the guitar, didn't pray for it, but I taught myself to play the guitar, you know. Um, I went on a previous course, a recent course, and studied maths and English and passed it and applied for a certain position, a role. I didn't pray for it. Whereas on the other hand, uh, people will say, "Oh, you should give God thanks for waking you up this morning." When I truly knew, I set my alarm clock and it woke me up, or my body clock will wake me up anytime I want to wake up. Say 7 a.m. I'll just put it into my mind. I'll wake up then on that time, sometimes a bit earlier. So it made me realize we are more powerful than we've been told. Plus the fact that reading the scriptures from memory, um, Christ himself used to tell us that, do you not know that you are gods? And not a God in like, you should all worship me, but in kind. We have that dormant Christ ability in each and every one of us to awaken. It's possible for all of us to awaken that Christ um, energy or Christ power that is dormant or asleep in each and every one of us. So I sometimes, even knowing that, I still find myself talking to an external God, and that's through years and years of indoctrination. Even absolutely, yeah, yeah, and then it's difficult to move yourself away from that. There's a balance you have to create. There's a creator, but you don't have to bow down and worship and give money and so on and so forth to a certain God that doesn't even say thanks or reward you or
if there is a creator, I don't think he wants you.
no, not at all. Like I said, we're here to evolve and we're here to um, reignite something that was lost in each and every one of us, which is, I call it a Christ energy. You had Jesus, the man, and Christ, the energy that he tapped into. and it emanated from his being.
So do you believe in Jesus?
Yeah, I believe that there was a being who walked on the earth. He would have walked with a different name. It would have been a different name. We all know what name it was. But I believe that this this character that they call Jesus, yes, the meaning of Jesus means anointed. The meaning of Christ means savior. So it's the Christ that's going to save you. And that was, from my understanding, the energy that Jesus tapped into to awaken those miraculous powers that we all have. Again, reading the Bible, it tells you a lot about history, and it tells you a lot about the characters that were in this history. If you relate the characters to modern day historical books or readings, we find that a lot of these characters were coming out of Africa. They were African people. Now, another misconception is that it doesn't matter what color he was. It matters for one purpose, right? To empower yourself. If one person is telling you that, oh, he was this race, then they're empowering themselves. But when you know the truth, for me, the most downtrodden people are so downtrodden because they look outside themselves and uh, developed a hate for themselves in believing that, okay, the savior of the world must be white, but at the same time, the savior of the world enslaved us and tortured us and done all these kind of things. So it's very confusing for the psyche, but the psyche will tell you that that race is the greatest, and then you hate yourself. And I think that's the problem with us. We hate ourselves because we were indoctrinated for so many years that this is how it goes. This race is the greatest, and this race was chosen, and it's not actually the case. On the other hand, another thing I dislike is people saying, "Oh, black people are the chosen race. We were here first." No, to say things like that, or for a God to say, "Oh, I favoured these people," it's going to invoke some kind of jealousy. So I started to empathize with other people and think, why would you say you're the chosen race? Because then other people are going to feel excluded, and no wonder they're going to hate you. It's just like having a brother and sister, and mom and dad treats one sister better than they treat the other one. It's going to invoke jealousy, and then that person, through no fault of their own, is going to want to hurt or harm the other person. I actually saw that within my own family. Let's just say it wasn't fair treatment with everybody, you know. And I do sympathise and empathise uh, with certain aspects of growing up, because it's never easy for one parent to raise 4 children.
You were in a single parent home.
Single parent home. It was my dad. He raised us, obviously, with a masculine perspective, which is why you also need the feminine. But without going too much into that, it had an effect on the dynamics between siblings. It had an effect. Nobody's fault, but um, lack of knowing, lack of understanding. It's not something that we find easy to talk about or address, but it's very apparent to me. That's something that profoundly affects me, and I distance myself from that too, because there can never be any reconciliation, or it's a difficult subject to address. I'm I have an ability to step outside the box and look in and take an analytic view of why certain people behave a certain way, and I can see it in my family. I totally get it, and it's a shame because I love my family. Um, I wish that we could uh, ultimately get on a lot more better, but I feel that's down to each individual's maturity as they go through life. You know, some things are important and some things aren't important, but first of all, we have to be honest with ourselves, you know, before we can. We're not here to fix anything. Nobody's on a pedestal, nobody's better than anybody, but we can share, you know, in order to improve and evolve better with each other. But absolutely, single parents or single parented families will encounter um, side effects from that.
Yeah, I can imagine it's hard not growing up with either or one or the other. You know, is your dad still with us?
Absolutely.
Can you still speak to him and get on?
Yes. Yes. At the moment, we're not communicating the way we should do at this moment. Um, it does hurt a lot.
Right, reaching out.
Yes, but he comes from a certain generation, you know. Yeah, stuck in their ways. You know, they that generation. I call them the Windrush generation. Not very humble, you know, at acknowledging what they did wrong and so on and so forth. Very private. Whereas for myself, with my children, I'll tell them everything. They can talk to me about everything and anything. You know, um, I'll tell them some private things if I know it's going to help them to grow. You know, some embarrassing things, embarrassing moments, if it's going to help them to grow. Unfortunately, that generation, uh, the connection or that bridge has a blockage, and we're not able to be open with each other, which has a domino effect on the rest of the family.
Okay.
Mm.
You speak to your siblings, or is that straight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you like to?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'd like us to get on a lot better, but it's not something that bothers me anymore because, uh, yeah, it bothered me for years and years, till I came to a point where I realised it's stressing me out. Um,
Two-way street as well, Mark. You know.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I understand the dynamics and why things were the way they were, but we're grown now. You know, we have to put a lot of things behind us and, you know, evolve. Now, I've come to a certain understanding in life that when I look at the birds that are in a nest, you've got three birds in a nest, and the mum comes in and feeds them, and the dad will stand guard and so on. But then the birds one day fly away, leave the nest, and that's it, they're gone. And the parents go off and do their own thing. Maybe that's how families are. One day you circle round and come back, and meet each other again. But at least the fundamentals, the foundation, you know, that love structure should be in good condition, you know, so that you know I can rely on that person or that person. You know, my arms will always be open, you know, but certain things I just won't tolerate, you know, and I don't think they'll tolerate. Like sibling rivalry, saying things that aren't true, you know, and especially if people believe the things that you're saying and you don't console what you've said and you carry it through life, I won't forgive that until you've uh, come humbly and said, I was wrong, I shouldn't have said that, you know. And that's because of the structure. There's enough damage already. We don't need any more, you know. Certain things I won't let go.
Do you mind me asking about your mum? Was she alive? Why wasn't she in the house?
Let's just say they weren't getting along the way they were supposed to, and it resulted in mom going to live in a different country. Yeah, some of us some of us or certain members of the family can't forgive that or understand that or try. And I think that's a really bad thing because it's your mom. You know, it's what happened in their lives is not our business. They're two adults. It's not our business. And you should never take sides or hold a grudge against the mom that gave birth to you in pain. You know, I think that's a very, very uneducated form of communication to do something like that, reject your own mother. And, you know, the same thing will happen in our lives if we reject one person. I believe in karma very, very strongly. And what you do has to circulate and come back to you. It's the energy that you put out, you know. But I don't judge mom or dad for anything that happened in their life. It's their business, you know. The important thing is how you articulate yourself in the present time.
Well said.
Mm.
Can you give me a piece on the guitar?
Oh, wow.
You mind?
I don't mind at all.
I'd love to hear it, man.
Okay.
Change the tone a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Sun gonna shine today, and I'm gonna celebrate the dawning. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Forgot about yesterday, and I ain't gonna worry about tomorrow. Oh no, 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 no. If your frequency is low, I ain't gonna worry till you restore. No, 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 no. Smile before you leave. Love energy. Won't you smile for me? Smile before you leave. Love energy. Won't you smile for me? Your future seems far away, but I ain't gonna let it invade my present. Oh no, no, no. Oh. And even though you're dressed in gray, I won't let it ruin my day. No, no, no. If your frequency is low, I ain't gonna tune into you this morning. No, 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 no. Smile before you leave. Love energy. Won't you smile for me? Smile before you leave. Love energy. Won't you smile for me? Oh, oh, oh. Smile.
Won't you smile for me? Brilliant, man.
Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you. That was great, man.
It's all right for putting me on the spot. I've done pretty well, yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, yeah.
More authentic than that, man. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
That's called Smile. It's a song I'm hoping to sing in town one day and make people smile.
You made me smile, so I'm sure you'll get there, man, and I'm sure you'll do exactly that.
Excellent.
You will. Made me smile.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
As well. That was really good, man. I could talk to you all day, Mark, but I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a third one. Who knows?
Oh, that would be great. I look forward to it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
You too. You too.
That means a lot to me, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity. I like that.
No problem.
We're not that different. We're not defined by age or race. We're not that different in any time or any place, brother. Believe your hustle and your grind, sister. We need your voice, so don't be silent. Slide.